Good morning. Welcome to the King's Report for February 23rd, 2019, the 10th year of Changi, first month and 19th day by the heavenly calendar. I'm Tim Elder, sitting in for the second king of Changi-guk, Hyungjin Moon. All right, let's go to our Rhema. We're in Lamentations this morning. Again, I've had a few Rhemas in Lamentations. And I think, well, let me read the first two verses first, and I have some ideas as why God has given me these Rhemas in Lamentations so often. The first two verses of chapter 1. How doth the city sit solitary, that was full of people? How is she become as a widow, she that was great among the nations, and princess among the provinces? How is she become tributary? She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. It's pretty obvious who God is talking about here. Why, of course, the author of Lamentations was talking about Jerusalem and the corruption of Jerusalem, but when God gives us Rhemas, He is speaking to us. He uses the Bible to speak to us directly. And so we cannot just be interpreting this in the way that, in the context that it was first revealed to this author. But today, right now, God is speaking to us. And He's speaking to us about a particular person, and about a particular location. How is she become as a widow, she that was great among the nations? So Han mother, if she were united with father, she would not be an actual widow. But now she is, because she has separated herself from father, who is still alive. He just doesn't have a physical body, but he still lives, and he still is conducting God's providence. She is not the center of God's providence. Father is the center of God's providence. When he was in his physical body, he conducted God's providence both in the physical world and in the spirit world, and that has not changed. That has not changed, but she has separated herself from that. And here in Lamentation it says, she was a princess among the provinces. How is she become tributary? Yes, she was a princess among the provinces. She was a princess in the world. And Father raised her up, even to become a queen. But now she's become a tributary. In other words, she's no longer in the main line. She's no longer in the main line of God's providence. Now she's just in the side tributary of the providence. She weepeth sore in the night, and the tears are on her cheeks. I can feel God's heart here. I can feel Father's heart here, because Father invested in her for more than 50 years. And He continues to love her. God's love for us doesn't change when we betray Him. Just as in the New Testament, the story about the prodigal son, the father's love for the son did not change. But the son chose to betray the father and take his share of the inheritance and go out into the world and to use up his inheritance and to become a servant of servants, who was feeding the pigs before he finally repented and came back to the father. But when he came back, the father was glad to see him and hosted a feast for his return. So God's love for us doesn't change, and Father's love for Mother has not changed. And that is what is so heartbreaking for him, to see her take her position and to destroy herself. For her to be in sorrow like this, weepeth sore in the night. I don't know. Father is there. I'm not. So I guess Father is seeing that she is, in fact, when she is alone at night, and when she begins to realize what she has done, or when she sees that people around her are just using her, she feels lonely, and she is weeping in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers, she hath none to comfort her. Kim Sok-byung was kind of a Casanova for her for a time, taking her out on dates. And other sycophants around her. But now none will comfort her. And it says, all her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They have become her enemies. So she sees that the people that she trusted, people that she believed in, are betraying her. Kim Hyunam, she trusted Hyunam Kim. But of course, Hyunam Kim has betrayed her and left her. And all the others as well have left her, and they've become her enemies. So I think these first two verses of Lamentations really speak to God's heart, the Father's heart, as He watches how Hak Ja Han, now alone, putting on a strong face in public. She can go to a large stadium and speak to hundreds or thousands of people, but none of those people there are actually able to comfort her. And she knows that they too will turn against her when they find out the truth of what she is doing and what she has done. And that really breaks Father's heart, to see her like this. But she has to take responsibility for the acts that she has committed. So it pains God's heart, it pains Father's heart. But He has to lead her on the path where she will take responsibility for the things that she has done. Because that is her path of salvation. She cannot reach salvation without going through that very painful and sorrowful for heart. Yeah. And yes, it's very painful for God as well. Even more painful for God. Because God knows what she could have been, what she could have done, and the glory that she could have received, the blessing that she could have received. So that's the Bible Rhema for today.